year is 2577 TC. We use the Thelmecian calendar. We always have. Even after Thelmecia was destroyed. They say it was supposed to be a shield, a defensive measure against monsters, to bring Thelmecia into a new age, a utopia at the center of the world. Some time ago we began weaving magic into our technology. We called it Arcanii. But it was too strong. Weapons capable of atomizing entire cities. Shields that should have saved lives, but instead tore them away. They outlawed it, the world over. Most continents didn't even have it in the first place, but now no one does, supposedly. Some low-level Arcanii remains. The Arcanii engines that power the trains. Alexandria even has a few airships now. Seems the Arcanii Inquisition let that one slip. Well, I managed to get a hold of one of those engines. Plugged it into something I found in the sunken ruins of Thelmecia. A few nuts and bolts here, a little alchemical touch there, and a simple cantrip to hold it all together. I'm a scientist, that's all. I just want to see what happens when I fire it up. Will it fall apart? Maybe. Will it reduce all of Lacrin to dust? Hopefully not. Will it punch through into the heavens themselves and take from the gods what they took from me? I fucking hope so.
Hello everyone! Welcome to the beginning of the stream. My gosh, it's working. Fantastic. I really didn't think it was gonna. Oh god.
I just went to host Tablestory, but I was hosting Jay and he's bald.
What?
What?
How bald?
He's bald, man.
All right, well, I'm gonna have to go see that.
Now we gotta derail this for like 1 second and take a look at what is happening. Oh, okay, my computer's not gonna let me do that. Can you give me a print screen?
Yes, I will do.
Oh,
I'll put it in the blank
just shocked
space
me
that we've got.
badly.
100% bald.
Right now. Please show.
Very bald.
This show me because I can't click
Okay,
it.
yep, I'm getting there right now.
Well, welcome to the beginning of the stream.
Sorry.
Of course, the stream starts with PB going at something completely random that none of you can see, because that's what she does.
That's what I did all through Darkfire too, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I can't. I always feel sorry for the people on the VODs that are watching in the future, and they're like, "Well, I can't click that right now." Well, welcome
Well, nothing
back.
happened, so
Hey, look,
here we are.
it's Tuesday. Tuesday's
Hi.
here. What's
Hi.
happening Tuesday, Gray? It's been
I'm not
too long.
Tuesday. I'm Cairo.
That's true. You are.
So yeah, get used to that.
You are indeed. I'm just checking my overlay. I had to scramble together an overlay. Unfortunately, Disby isn't here. She's feeling unwell. So please go and send her a tweet or follow her Twitch channel and send her offline messages and offline subs that wish her all the best. I will be playing the part of Hilda today. Who
Nice.
if I recall, had a British old lady's accent, so I should be able to do
Yes.
that pretty well.
Yes.
To be honest, every time you interact with Hilda, she's just going to do this. And that's how she's going to help you out. And that's how she will
She
be
was a
played.
little more assertive than that. I think you're gonna have to
It's
give it
weird,
a little more.
Something's happened to her. She banged her head on
I see.
during the fight with the spider that you
Yeah,
guys
she
were
just
in.
kind of clunked her. No,
She got hit on the head
Oh,
pretty
that's
hard.
right.
So now
okay.
she's like, she'll be like that until next week. Because this is
Okay.
probably a 2-week B Team episode.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Oh, he's not bald. He just has hair that looks like mine. Kinda.
No, unless it's under the headphones. I don't have it live. I just have.
Oh
the,
no,
thumbnail.
his Twitter, Theo cut his hair and then I guess he shaved it.
I shall attempt to put it on the screen for you while we wait. Shall I put something else on the screen as well? How about some fan art? Did you see the amazing fan art?
Oh my god, I want a print of it so bad.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I'm putting that shit up on the wall. Are you kidding me?
Very print worthy.
So good.
Jack Lack put some fan art in our Discord, which you can go and check out in like full screen gorgeousness, as well as all the other fan art that comes through. We have a Discord fan art channel where there's a bunch of stuff that you can look at. But about a week ago, maybe less, they posted an image of Igan. And then this week they posted an image of Lord Chibber in the chains. And it looks like ding that. Wow. Unbelievable. So good.
It's insanely good.
It's so good. And let me see if I can get something not as good. And it's bald brotato looking man without crashing my computer would be nice. Let's see if I can put this on the screen so that people who are watching on a VOD can see it, because this is the pains I go to when PB does the something off screen meme. There it is. Okay, it's there for some reason, but still. There it is. Even more disturbing than the horror that is Igan the demon, or Lord Chibber the Devil of Ice, is Brotato's hair. And why are they doing this? Do we know?
Well, I
think-
heard it was because he didn't want to expose a breast.
Oh, he's doing that.
Yeah.
He's doing that old one. Well, I'm going to put him there, and he can be on the screen with us until I am
That's
disgusted.
also just the perfect expression of disgust.
I know. It's my resting normal face, is that one. Resting perturbed face. There we go. I don't know why he's doing that. I don't know if that's a charity thing or they're just doing it for memes or what, but there's Brotato. Haven't heard from him in months.
You know?
Yeah, I thought he had gone missing. That picture is on the back of milk cartons where I live. I haven't spoken to him in so long. Not since old ragtags. Remember that Tuesday?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Mm-mm.
Well,
I remember zigzags.
that was the
think.
best. Yeah.
Yep.
That was the best. Big Zags, which was a spin-off
Big
of a spin-off.
Zags happened. PB, you were there for that.
Everyone was there for that. It was
I was
ridiculous.
Karen the elk carrying Keanu Reeves.
So dumb. All right.
was
Well,
beautiful.
yeah. Here we are once again. It's the B Team. Obviously, usually we have the A Team, or also known as the D Team. They are the usual crew that. Oh God.
Not confusing.
Now what
at
have
all.
you seen?
Yeah, that's not confusing at all.
Yeah, I know. There's the main campaign: Squall, Selfie, Zell, Quaestus. Someone else? Renoa. How could I forget?
Quaestus.
But today
Nice.
you will be playing as Laguna, Ward, Kyros, as the B team. The main quest you guys have progressed quite far through. You just left Bologna, you went to hell, and now are in heaven? Question mark? Something. You're in your own
Sure.
personal boundary and kind of encountering these great big deity type figures. However, the B team is where we're at, and this is going to take a decent refresher. Now, what I probably should do is create some sort of like previously on video, but I refuse. It's too much effort, and I won't do it. No one would go to that much effort. So, previously, I will try and sum it up for you. The B team are a set of Inquisitors. It's a side story. It's a flash sideways, somewhere close enough to a pretty much exact flash sideways as I'm able to do with D&D, which is all wibbly wobbly with time a lot of the time. The crew are a set of Inquisitors. They're Arcanii Inquisitors in the world of Lacrin. In the current era, in the future, there is a combination of magic and technology. Technology has progressed so far that infusing that technology with magic is is presenting these results, which are out of this world, almost literally. The world on the brink of a sort of it was almost like a Cold War situation where all of these technologies were being built, created a particular Arcanii, which is still shrouded in a lot of mystery, but there was a defensive Arcanii that was being built by a particular continent known as Thelmecia. When they built it, something went wrong, destroyed the entire continent and pulled it under the water around 500 years ago. Then they put a stop to having this Arcanii in the world. It's way too powerful. If it can do that to a whole continent, what could it do if anyone's able to tinker and mess with this stuff? So, a group were put together. The Inquisition already exists in the world. They're kind of like CIA, FBI type people, MI6 types already, but they put a new arm in place known as the Arcanii Inquisition. Whenever anybody is suspected of using, building, interacting with this magical technology, these guys are sent in to deal with it by literally any means necessary. They can go in and they can kill, they can peacefully stop, they can trick, they can coerce, they can bribe, they can do anything to put a stop to it. They literally have a license to kill, a license to do practically whatever they want. And a little while ago, two of them were sent on a mission. Lyra and Cairo were sent to investigate suspicious activity in Alexandria, a place called Caspon Wharf, to look into the disappearance of one of their members of the team, who was looking into the disappearance of another member of their team. So you guys are disappearing all over the place, looking into this particular Arcanii. When you went there, you looked into it. There's certainly some fishy things going on. You encountered a figure known as Geo, who said that his crew, and I can't remember exactly what was said in which episode, but either way, his crew are known as the Dragonfly.
He didn't say anything, which is why he was so fucking terrifying.
Right, but you encountered him again, so I'll kind of lump it all into one.
Yes.
You
and he knows who we are.
He knew everything about you. He seemed to have way more information about you than anyone should have, since you're all, secret agents, basically. And that he was part of this crew known as the Dragonfly crew. He had a big dragonfly tattoo on his neck, and the Dragonfly crew appeared to be a ship, a group of people that are putting together Arcanii and sailing around covertly collecting pieces of Arcanii. You brought this back. You guys headed off onto another mission with everybody in tow, and boarded a ship to look into more Arcanii suspicions. You found on this ship that there were people that were involved with the Dragonfly crew that had a thing that was essentially a submarine. It would not look anything like one of our submarines in terms of technology, but like a rudimentary, old, kind of clockwork, steampunk-looking submarine that was powered by magic, essentially a piece of Arcanii, very illegal. You commandeered it, in fact tinkered with it and made it into your own thing. You got reinforcements in the form of Hilda Ruiz, who is sort of an elderly lady who is awesome with swords, and you all jumped into this submarine, went underwater, under your new orders from the Arch-Inquisitor themselves, who said that somewhere under the water, around the ruins of Thelmecia, that continent that was pulled into the water about 500 years ago, somebody has built an Arcanii, which he claimed to have been the most powerful Arcanii that they've encountered since the destruction of Thelmecia. He said that there's a big maelstrom that's kind of extremely dangerous around the area. He said that you potentially only have one shot to go down there. You have to investigate it. He said that about a week ago, in game time, they used this Arcanii to activate a weapon of some sort, or some sort of powerful thing that is the the thing, whatever is going on with this snow, there's a snow phenomena where the snow is falling all over the world. He believes it to have been this machine that caused that in some way. He doesn't know what's going on, doesn't have all the information, but whatever was happened immediately after this weapon was used. Your mission here is essentially to go down there and find out what they're planning and put a stop to it. They have to be stopped. He ended the sort of weird magical phone call that he had going on with you, with the words that if you don't stop it, it could very well spell the end of all life on the world. It's ridiculous. He also said, if possible, find out who orchestrated this and why. So you went down there, you managed to break through, you found this place underwater inside of this maelstrom. There is part of the continent which remains and is caught inside of this strange sphere, almost this maelstrom of a bubble underwater of land, miles and miles across. You immediately encountered your old friend Geo again, who said that you guys, he wanted to stop you, that you were too late anyway, that you were only there to control them, and then he set on you this Arcanii spider thing. You guys encountered the spider, you fought with it, you defeated it, he disappeared. It seems that he was an illusion of some sort that had been cast, and they've been doing this a couple times, and he was controlling it remotely in some way, and then it came back to life, and you engaged in combat with it again. And that was the last time we saw you. Do you recall, and do you have any questions or refresher questions that you wanted me to answer? Because obviously it's a big amount of time between these B Team episodes that we do.
I feel like Geo said something that made us feel like the activation of whatever that device was upon us. Like he might have even
like,
mentioned
it's not
hours.
that long now. Yeah, I think he said it's not a lot of time until it's activated.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I felt a sense of urgency as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For sure,
In
yeah.
my notes are underlined. Gotta stop them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all I have. So I think it's like a.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he basically said, it's happening now. And yeah. Let's see. Errol Pay did do a kind of magical location-y thing where I gave you a little bit more of a boost on what your spell was doing. You cast a spell that was kind of like a detect magic spell, and you got what was essentially the scent of a powerful Arcanii directly north of your location. Pretty much a straight walk towards what looks like a mountain range. Obviously everything here is just chewed up land that was chewed up and then fallen in on itself, so it's not really like the type of mountain range or land that you would encounter, on the surface, but that's essentially what it looks like. So you had an idea of a location as well of where to go. So if you want to jump back in, we can jump back in.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I will. You know what? I'm gonna leave that as is for a moment as we return underwater, because you are underwater, but it probably doesn't feel like it. Considering it does seem like you're on dry land, and you're dry land as this landscape spreads out ahead of you. And again, you see this kind of bleak landscape. It's miles and miles of area around you. You're very close to this kind of this vortex, and probably it sounds something like this where you are. It's just really loud, horrible rushing sound that we don't want to listen to the entire time, but will be sitting in the background for you. Quite close to where you are is the edge of the world, what it looks like here. You have this enormous, great big wall of what is essentially wind, but it's keeping the ocean, the sea behind it at bay. The remnants of this continent, which is all broken and churned up and was pulled into the sea hundreds of years ago, lay before you. It's just kind of an endless landscape of mud and grey rock. There's this huge vortex of water which is frothing and white and spinning around you, and it kind of looks like the sky. It would look essentially like landscape and sky to us, but obviously we know that it's just a wall of magically held wind and water. It kind of arcs as well. Although there is miles of landscape here, you would be able to see the arc of the sphere that you're in. Huge, great big arcing thing that spreads out ahead of you, but it's still something that I think you would be able to take in. The surface of the ground below you is kind of mud and grey stone mostly. This just kind of fractured expanse. It's raining constantly, but it's not really rain, right? It's water which is falling, thick and uneven drops. There's no signs of life apart from like algae probably that covers several parts of the ground in sort of thick blue-green goop. And there are small little lakes that kind of pepper the land ahead of you. Mostly just uneven rocks. It would look like probably when you go to somewhere near like the ocean where there is like rocks, that part between maybe greenery and the actual sea, and it's kind of a cliff or something like that, with those jagged rocks everywhere that are slippery and covered in algae. Pretty much everywhere it's like that. And each of you sit or stand near this broken submarine, the Arcanii thing that you use to access the continent. There is the Arcanii spider, big, like the size of a horse really, but more squat. And all of you have defeated it. We're not doing the fight again, but it is now a short jump forward in time after round 2. As this thing is all broken and busted up, there's an internal whirring on it that stops, then a sputter of sort of mechanical noises, and then a puff of black smoke as it finally falls silent. Errolpay, you still have the general scent or sense of energy, just a huge well of energy nearby that is, again, sort of directly north of your location. And ahead of you is this mountain, this kind of pyramid, which Geo was stood upon before. And all of you are kind of sitting around, I think, probably taking a moment to have rested after dealing with this thing. During the combat, Hilda, the old lady, was hit on the head really hard by a leg of the spider, and she's been acting a little strange, but she seems to be functioning. She doesn't seem to be dying or anything like that. She just took an up to the noggin. She's not speaking too much. A little more quiet than usual. What do you guys do?
So Geo is gone, and the spider is making whirring.
Spider just seems to be scrap metal at this point.
Okay. Lyra, what do we do?
We have to hurry. Can we follow after him? Are we able to track him? Did we see where he went? Oh, he was a hologram,
He was a
wasn't
hologram, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. There isn't really... You don't know where he is, so... Not really.
Errol, can you lead the way?
Or can we reverse engineer this thing that's attached to the spider?
Yeah, can I investigate the spider?
Which thing?
There was like a thing that he had to wear.
Yeah.
Control it.
Oh, the glove?
Oh,
yeah, he was wearing a glove, but he has the glove, but there must be
something on it.
Something on the spider that was enabling a glove like that to work.
Yeah.
It was like the jewels. I think it had a few.
Yeah. Right. Underneath its belly, maybe? I don't know.
That sounds right.
You, Errolpay, give me an investigation check.
I clicked it. Oh, sorry, I did it twice. 20.
A ridiculous amount of 20s there. I'm glad you used them all up. 20. You can. It's not a quick thing. As you start to look this thing over, you can immediately determine that this thing is is busted up. It's broken. Whatever it is a combination of kind of clockwork and steamwork technology, which has been around for a really long time, and then infused with Arcanii, given some sort of remote control technology here that's allowing it to be controlled from this glove or from a station somewhere else, presumably. You can see that it was powered using these stones that seem to be holding energy, almost the same way that spells might be stored in a ring of spell storing, that kind of an item, but it's been used in such a way that it can hold the energy that powers this creature, similar to what we have as a battery, basically. Reverse engineering it would be impossible. For the most part, it's busted up. Really, it just seems like you need the access and control point. It's more the other end. The glove is more useful than the spider in terms of reverse engineering this thing. You would technically be able to take some things off of this and maybe use them, but for your needs now and for the amount of time that you're working with, you probably can't do it. That being said, if you were given maybe an hour or so using the parts from the spider, you probably could fix the sub.
I think that fixing the sub would be pretty important. So, I guess I'd have to turn back to the others. See, if I take some of these parts, I can fix our sub, but it's gonna take a little while.
Okay, well, we can keep that in mind. We just leave the parts here, and when we come back, we can maybe have a way out. In the meantime, though, can I use Eye for Detail to try to figure out where he went or where he might be? Also, isn't there like a kind of like a cliff thingy or mountainy area above us? Not a mountain, but like a mound of some sort, right?
We're treating this as north up on the map. It almost certainly is north, but you guys got pretty turned around when you were brought down here, and any compass and items that were working in the submarine are not functioning. They're just doing that spinning thing. So we're treating up on the map as north. There is no, in terms of south, west, and southwest, it's all just pretty much vortex, so there's no real way that way.
So the only way is forward, north.
Your options are north or east. Errolpay, I think you did say to the group that you sensed this magical location or energy north of where you are. It really is your only clue. And also there isn't a lot going on. There is a mountainscape that just looks like a mountain range would look to us, of two kind of mountain ranges that are about, I don't know, maybe 20 miles ahead of you.
Okay, we best get moving.
Right, let's go.
And
does it take me a lot of time just to take the parts out? Or is it because I would assume that it's the repairing of the ship or the sub that would take the most time.
It'll take you some time. You wouldn't be able to do it within, we'll say, about half an hour to take all the bits off of the spider, and then half an hour to put them onto the sub in such a way that it would be fixed and working.
I'm gonna actually stop people and go, no, I think that we should remove these now and put them next to the sub. That way
we don't have time.
But what if that guy comes back and takes the spider?
What if the world explodes? We don't have a lot of time.
That would suck too. But what if the guy comes back and takes the spider? Then we can't repair the sub. Then we can't leave.
One thing at a time, Meryl. Right now we gotta save the world.
This is a bad idea. Okay, fine. I'll walk.
You guys start walking.
Actually, before, can this be a part of the investigation? Did I determine anything that would be like more pivotal to grab? Something very important that's a part of these parts?
Not anything that you would really realistically be able to use. You can take maybe
something that would hinder, like, I think we've already seen this thing come to life twice. So it's one of those, like, I don't want it to come to life again. And then it's like, well, shoot.
Right. Yeah, you could take the stones out that are used as its power source.
I think that I would do that.
Okay. Yeah, you take a
And-
minute or two to just pop those out and just tear them out, without any real finesse.
Okay, yeah. I would do that.
Yeah. There's probably
Okay.
6 of them in total that you find. Doesn't seem like there's any others. They're probably
Are they big?
Maybe about the size of a golf ball.
Okay, then I would just keep them in my pocket then and walk on with them.
All of them white, and they were glowing when they were in the thing, and they don't glow anymore.
So they are literal golf balls.
Pretty much, but they're definitely like some sort of mineral, right? They're like a gemstone almost.
Okay.
But yeah, around that size, and they glow like a bright white. When they're in your hand, they're more kind of a grey white.
Okay.
And then all of you start heading north.
Yeah.
It's a pretty it's pretty rough terrain. And what was you going to say?
Well, I was gonna say, you said the spider was just in pieces, right?
Kind of. Like, he's got like one leg hanging off of it and stuff, but it's not.
Well, they were doing that with the submarine. Can I have been like searching through the pieces of it to see if there's anything that might be handy?
That's what Errolpay was doing. It was the spider, not the sub.
Oh, I thought it was over by the sub. Okay, then never mind. Then yep, I'm following.
Okay. So, you guys start moving, and you just start walking. It's rough terrain. It is like walking along one of those coastal regions where you're having to be very careful with almost every step you take, because there's jagged rocks and slippery rocks. Every now and then some rocks will give way and it will fall into a pool of water that bubbles up. Everything here is slippery. Everything is covered in water or algae from the rain above you. And you have an eagle as well, right? What is Keepy?
An owl.
An owl.
Yep.
What are they doing?
Keepy was in the sub, so to be kept safe, actually. Would I bring Keepy? Be terribly honest, I don't think I'd take him out of the sub.
Okay. So you're leaving the owl in the sub.
Even in character, I'm having trouble deciding which would be a safer place for him. With me! Keepy's with me!
Okay, so the owl
Keepy's not being left behind by himself.
presumably doing kind of
Final
circles
decision.
and flying
Yeah.
around above you.
Yep,
as
not on
opposed
my
to you
shoulder.
carrying, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So,
Could I try to do eye for detail? Where
yeah, what is that?
you can use a bonus action to make a wisdom check to spot a hidden creature or object, or make an intelligence check investigation to uncover or decipher clues.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay.
So really, yeah, I think that's fair. Let's say you walk for a little while.
Okay.
It's difficult. It's horribly difficult terrain to walk across. It's extremely annoying. And most people have got their eyes on their feet. Most people are avoiding the pitfalls and the slips.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
Keepy's able to actually look out for like hazards and traps and things. Can I have Keepy take a look ahead?
Yeah, and this was a similar thing with the two of you doing this. There are no traps. There is no dangers, right? Because there's nothing here. There really are no animals. There's not like there's an owl bear that's going to come out at you. You get the sense after a little while that there isn't anything alive down here. There isn't like anything subterranean that might burst up, like one of those sand dune snake things from Dune. It's empty. There aren't roaming packs of orcs. There aren't necessarily bandits, but of course you know that somewhere down here are the crew of the Dragonfly. Everyone give me perception checks, but it won't really affect what Lyra sees. I want them anyway. Let's see. 20 from Infidelia. 14 from Ellie. Ellie's with you. That's really going to be helpful.
Sorry. I changed it now.
Ellie is significantly stronger than you guys. Okay, so you 14, 21, 17. Okay, so everyone can see this thing, but I think Lyra, you stop at one point and you see it first. Ahead of you in the distance, as you maneuver around and walk for maybe 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, there is a portion of the mountainside ahead of you that just keeps, it just looks weird. It looks like there's something there that it seems strange to see. And for the record, it's pretty much like a perpetual twilight here. There's a light that's being brought in from around you, but it's difficult to say what it is from. It's more dark than light, but it's light enough that if you don't have dark vision, you can see. Does everyone have dark vision? I know Hilda doesn't.
Mine is bad. My dark vision is going bad because my eyesight's going bad.
Right.
I'm a half
have
elf.
it.
I don't see it.
Half elf
Yeah, I do have it,
does
right?
have it.
Yeah, half elf.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming I do.
Yeah, I have it as
Baxi,
well.
I don't
Yeah, I
know,
do.
but you're a cat, so probably.
I do.
Half
Dark
elf
vision.
does. Yeah, so everyone does. Okay, so you have a decent.
Water vehicles.
You what? Oh yeah,
Sorry.
you can.
Yep.
Yeah, you
That's
can control a boat. You okay? So you all see ahead of you now. Eventually, as you turn, as you come around this mountainside, or in the distance, as the mountain gives way to this thing, Lyra, you're the first to see it, and if anyone wants to see it, they can. In this kind of eternal twilight, it's hard to make out until you get a little closer. When you see a sphere, and for all intents and purposes, it appears to just be floating several hundred feet up from the ground. It's a giant thing that's sort of sitting stationary in the distance, and from here it appears to be made of metal, and it's probably around 200, 300 feet in diameter. The few of you can see it. Looks something like that as you come closer to it.
Oh, wow.
In the distance, sort of floating thing, though that does appear to have some structures around it and elements to it. It's pretty big.
What the heck is that?
I don't know, but is it falling apart?
I can't tell, but that's really big and underwater and floating.
I wonder if that's what we're here to stop, or
Maybe.
Should I shoot at it?
not yet.
I don't think so.
Should
I
probably
like walk up and put my my hand on Infidelia's arm, like.
I've like started reaching for my bow and arrow. She's probably noticed that.
Is there anything else around now that we can see this?
No. Just that.
Okay. This is all that we can see. I think we should probably... This is probably what we're here for.
I suppose so. Really wish we could have gotten that back up. And we're still walking. I assume we're saying this as we're walking, or
Yeah, as you keep going. Alright. So, you guys keep walking, and I'm gonna go and get my hamster and put it in a bowl.
I love her so much. She's so cute. What the hell is that?
that thing is almost as scary as Geo.
Is that stone or metal?
We should
can't
get closer
tell.
so I can look at it up close.
If I shoot it, it will make a sound and we will know what it is.
Well,
No, I don't. My hand's still on your arm. No, I don't. I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay.
It could also go boom and kill all of us. We
Well,
don't
that would
know
be
what it
bad.
is.
I wonder if when it's complete, they're done.
Oh, you think? Okay, we gotta move.
I'm still like walking with Infidelia, but I'm like walking forward with Infidelia's arm.
I take her lead and just start moving alongside her.
Okay, so everyone give me 2 checks. Give me constitution checks and
Fuck.
acrobatics checks. Nice. Double nice.
Oof.
Oh boy.
So I think Roll20's having some slowdown.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, why am I getting 20s? Is it broken? Okay, there we go.
I think they're doing some work on it today.
Yeah, I did not try to roll acrobatics twice.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were supposed to roll it twice because I saw other people.
Sorry, no,
had a-
I didn't try to roll it twice.
It's had
Oh.
a fun weekend. I think they're probably doing all the stuff on it this weekend. So, let's see. Okay, so I need to work out which is 9 acrobatics from Lyra, 2 constitution from Lyra, 10 acrobatics from Cairo, and I need a con as well. Or did you do that? Did I miss it?
Got a
Oh yeah,
3.
a 3. Oh god, there's so many. And then Infidelia got a 12. Really only need the low numbers. So that's it. Just that. So 1 failed con from Cairo, 1 failed con from Lyra, and then 1 fail acrobatics from Lyra as well. So all of you feel weird down here. There is something wrong with the atmosphere or something like that. There is as you start to move and after you've had this kind of stressful combat, you notice that your limbs start to feel a little heavy, and that you're breathing, you're taking slightly shorter breaths. For most of you, it's not an issue. Kind of adjust to it. It's a bit like if you've ever been on top of a really high mountain or something like that. It's a little like you've got that kind of a sensation. After walking for so long, maybe half an hour, and you're getting closer and closer to this sphere, Lyra, you get just winded pretty much at this point. You take 1 point of exhaustion. And what was the other? Was it just acrobatics and acrobatics? Yes. No. Wait, someone else failed as well. Sorry. So many I can't.
I
my
failed
memory.
con. I know that.
Same thing.
Cairo did. Yeah.
So you have the same thing. You both become exhausted after a short amount of time. You realize now that there's something up with the atmosphere. It's getting harder and harder to breathe. It's not like you're immediately suffocating or anything like that, but you're exerting yourself too much and pushing through it as if you're not aware of it, and it's affected you and you've become tired. You guys too as well. The two of you have been going pretty hard the whole week. So you maybe feel the strain of that. You now have, at exhaustion level 1, disadvantage on all ability checks. That's what you get. So remember
All of
that.
us?
Nope, just those 2 that failed.
Okay.
That's us, yeah.
So whenever you do an ability check, do it with disadvantage. So an ability check is stuff like acrobatics checks and stuff, but doesn't matter right now. Lyra, walking along, you at some point slip on a rock. as you're attempting to maneuver around a particularly gnarly-looking rock, your other foot slips on some algae and you fall. And roll me a d6. We'll see how bad it is.
6.
Real bad. You fall, the exhaustion setting in, you stumble, you drag one of your legs down the edge of this rock and open up a horrible cut alongside probably like your thigh or something as you fall. Suddenly, I think everyone sees Lyra just drop as she falls and rolls down a small incline of jagged rocks, rolling over, taking a few wounds and cuts. And then you feel that exhaustion setting in. Cairo, you're slowing down at the back of the group here when this happens. This place is taking a toll on your body, all of you. But these guys feel the effects of it first. I think we're done with those checks. That was way more difficult than it should have been. But yes, that's the thing. You take 6 slashing damage, Lyra.
And I assume we see the fall. And Lyra, are you? What happened?
I do that thing that cats do where they like fall and then they're just like pretend like they meant to kind of do that.
Start cleaning your paw.
Yeah. So I just kind of like get up and, comb out my hair a little bit, move my rifle on my shoulder, and don't acknowledge the fact that I fell at all.
And I've worked with her for a little bit now, so I get that. And I say, anyone else having trouble breathing here? I feel like I can't get a full,
I walk up to Lyra and I point to one of the cuts. I'm like, you're bleeding. And then I walk away.
I just look down at my thigh and then look back up and just kind of, oh my God, yes, I am. Yes, I am feeling a little bit of tightness in my chest.
Yeah, like can't get a good breath.
Brad, I have a question. I have a book of lore. What does that do, and will it help me in this situation?
Let's find out what that means, because I don't know either. Book of Lore, is it in here somewhere? Nope.
No.
Book of Lore. So, it'll be a book of lore about a particular subject of some sort. I would imagine. I've always treated it like an encyclopedia almost. So if you need information about something, you can consult the Book of Lore. And
well, since we chased down these things, do you think it'd have anything on what's going on here?
Almost definitely not. You guys are at the forefront. You're going to be adding to the Book of Lore. But if you want to consult it about something, if you need information about a particular subject, if it's something that's likely to be in this encyclopedic kind of book, when you roll,
like the spider might be in it, but this won't.
Potentially, you'd find something about how to construct something like one of those constructs. Essentially, it would give you a bonus to your, for example, history check. You'd get to add D4 to that roll.
Okay.
If you've consulted the Book of Lore about it first. But with regards to like almost anything going on here, probably not, other than general maybe history checks about what happened to Thelmecia and how this place ended up like this. But in terms of the thing that's sitting ahead of you or the Arcanii and stuff, there wouldn't be very much in there, I don't think. Unless you had something very specific in mind, then maybe, but probably not.
There's some like ridges. I guess I should say this in character. Maybe we should go up on one of these cliffs and look down.
It'll probably take us a while to get up there, but
I don't know if I'm up for that.
If you guys aren't feeling so well, I don't think getting closer is going to be better.
Well, what choice do we have?
Of checking it out first?
I mean, not.
Then running it.
Keepy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Do you want me to?
Can you sit down? You should sit down.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's a good.
Yeah, send Keepy in. Maybe just like a little closer.
And I'll make a couple of clicks and things to Keepy, and off he goes.
And Keepy ahead. And what's the intent here? What do you kind of expect?
what's underneath of it? Are there people near it, or it's anything near it? And how's it being built?
I guess
And/or falling apart.
Or is it falling apart? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he could specifically. He could see like hostile creatures. Right, but I think yeah, you can see hostile creatures, hidden passages, treasure traps, hazards, things like that. So it'd be kind of a general.
Oh yeah, is it hazardous? It'd be good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Roll me an animal handling check.
We'll do this thing. I'm not gonna hit it again. There it goes.
Yeah, just give it a second.
Yep.
14. All right. Let's see what. How you have like a very limited ability to speak, Keeper. You don't have like speak with animals or beasts or whatever, right?
I don't think I have those things. I think it's just I can get basic information about hazards and things.
Right. So you guys keep moving while this is happening. You guys are heading one way when you see the owl fly off ahead.
I think we stopped so Cairo and I could catch our breath.
You want to catch your breath?
Yeah.
It's going to be a short rest to clear the exhaustion. Short rest is an hour.
I don't think we're short resting. I think we were just stopping while we let Keepy go. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Did we feel this way by the submarine? Like the shortness of breath?
I think so, but it's just more prominent now that you're moving and that the first thing that happened is you were dealing with this guy, and then you were having this combat with this thing, and you were more kind of the adrenaline was up and you were getting stuff going. But then once you start to move and you spend a little longer here and you start you're now tired a little more after the fight, tired from the walk, you start to feel it, and it's just that these two failed so miserably on their checks that they feel it more directly. But yeah, it's not I think, well, give me... No, you know what? You guys are intelligent. I think you can tell. It's not like this thing is emanating it. It just feels like it's the atmosphere down here. It's just slightly different. However this place even has oxygen right now is it's odd enough, and it's just difficult.
Yeah, and like you said, Lyra and I have been at things for a while.
So, Keepy flies off. And I think, I don't know how fast an owl can fly. Probably Tuesday knows.
Actually, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know how fast they can fly.
Resident ornithologist. So the owl flies off, and it covers the distance pretty quickly. In terms of how far away this thing is, it's not so far away. It's just that the difficult terrain that's making it journey slower for you to get there. And as you're rounding this kind of canyon, this mountain, and revealing this thing that's set in between two kind of jagged, what looks like mountain faces, you're more aware of it, and you can see it in greater detail as you get closer, but it's not too far away, and the owl flies over there, disappears from sight, and eventually you see the owl return, probably no longer than 10-15 minutes or so. If you guys want to sit and wait for that long, you can, or you can already have been on the way again.
I'd say we probably just leaned on a rock for, maybe a minute and then carried on.
Yeah.
So, when Keepy returns, I think in whatever squawks or taps or whatever it is that Keepy does to identify... Beak clicks. You're given the sense that there's only one person over there.
Okay.
And that... that there's no danger.
Okay.
But I don't know how well you interpret what the owl is saying. But you're not sure.
Sure.
But you get the sense that there's no, Keepy won't know what danger is when it comes to stuff like this. And I think you would intuit that Keepy says there's no danger, but that seems crazy.
Sure.
So, yeah, Keepy's looking for crocodiles and shit, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Not necessarily what might be over there. So that's all you get, I think, from that. Yeah. Depending on what you think Keepy would do. I can't imagine Keepy would fly into that thing. Would just fly near.
Think so.
Keepy also...
Yeah.
Give me another animal handling check, actually.
Whew.
Keepy would probably be flustered, I would imagine. Like as if you've sent Keepy to fly towards something that he doesn't want to
really
fly
unsettled
towards.
him.
Yeah.
Sure.
Ooh, okay.
Well, as you can see, Keepy wasn't real happy with that mission, and
He looks happy to me. Or she.
that's kind of his,
Angry
worried.
face?
No, more worried.
Oh.
Yeah, he's concerned, and I don't think he saw any traps or anything, but he did see someone, just one person, and I don't think he wants to go back there. So, for what it's worth, Keepy's worried.
I think we can take one person.
We'll find out. What choice do we have again?
Yeah.
There might be more spiders.
That's not a person.
At least we know how to take care of the spiders now.
I'm gonna call Keepy back down to my gloved arm and just kind of hang on to his jesses and keep going.
Okay. And you guys are heading not up the mountain, but along the
At
more
least not Lyra and I aren't.
flat
Yeah.
herb.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the plan? It's okay,
Yep.
people
Yeah.
open a mouth, but I wasn't sure if you were going to say something. No? Okay.
Oh, sometimes I just do that.
And it's not weird, okay?
And if you were like, I go the other way and leave. Okay. So you continue walking. And again, it continues to be almost exactly the same terrain. As you get closer to this kind of mountain range and this sphere that you can see ahead of you rising up out of the ground gets closer and closer to you as well. You can see the mountain range really is little more than the same thing as you have underfoot. It's not really like a naturally formed mountain. It's more like boulders and rubble that have been kind of stuck together by mud, algae. They've just landed in this kind of haphazard shape. You just see that this thing has been built in between it. You can see as well something else. As you round the left-hand side mountainscape here, you can see a ship which has been left behind. And it's a ship that
Do we recognize it?
you would recognize maybe a little bit. You can see this this huge abandoned thing that looks like it kind of had a rough landing in the same way that you guys did. It looks like it probably crash landed. The base of the ship is all broken and split open, mostly missing as if it's been destroyed. There are parts of the ship that look like they were modified in strange ways. For the most part, this is a ship that looks kind of like a caravel, like a transport ship, more than anything, like a ship of war or anything like that. The rigging has been stripped from it. A lot of the wood and the metal parts have been taken away. You can see this thing probably fell in here, probably came in through the vortex, and the base of the ship was destroyed, and then it was stripped down for parts. It's a strange looking thing here in the middle of this kind of strange kind of wasteland, and as you get closer and closer, you can see that it has the word Dragonfly across the side of what's left of the hull.
Of course it does.
Lyra, do you see that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
How the hell did they get that here?
I don't know.
I'd like to look to see if I see anyone.
Yeah, give me perception or investigation checks.
I'll use my eye for detail, if that's okay.
Yep. In fact, you can if you do that, just give me a check with advantage.
Let's see, investigation. Okay.
Huh.
22.
22 and a 22. Is no one else checking?
I did perception. Should I do investigation?
Oh, depending on which one you do depends on which answer you get, kinda.
Okay.
What kind of information?
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do investigation, you're kind of like using your brain. If you're using perception, you're using your instincts, more like sights and what you can hear and stuff like that. Okay. So, 22, first of all, Lyra. You look this thing over, it looks super abandoned. It doesn't seem like there's anyone here. You can actually see through most of the ship. There are holes in it all over the place. You can see straight through to the bottom of the hull. You can see the top areas. You can see through to where maybe the captain's quarters were or other living quarters in the ship. It's just broken and abandoned. There's no one here. It doesn't look like anyone was living in it. It looks like not only has it been broken, but also they've literally taken parts of it and moved them away. You can see.
Does it look like it was done recently?
What do you count as recently?
Couple of hours, I guess.
No.
Okay. This was done a while ago.
A little while ago. Yeah.
Okay.
There's not a lot of debris or stuff around it to suggest that it's kind of been buried in sand, like it's been years or anything. But maybe a month or two.
A month or
3.
two. Okay. So, assuming that this ship did come through the water somehow, there's kind of like residue on the planks and stuff.
Yes, I mean it looks like it's been sat here for a while, but there's not really a residue. There's no algae on it or anything yet. Nothing like that has formed. It just looks busted up, broken, stripped for parts, and then abandoned. There's almost certainly no one here. If they are, they're invisible.
What parts did they take?
Everything. Anything that probably wasn't destroyed in the vortex. Even things like timber frames and things. You can see that there's parts of the ship that have been
like to build another ship.
Yeah, or something.
Okay.
They've
something.
left
They took frame parts
as if they've taken parts off that are framework that they can use and then left the broken parts behind. But you can see that they've been arranged in a way that someone might take something down and put it down because that's useless, but take this part.
Okay.
Which is why I say you can tell that it's been stripped for parts. You can determine that pretty quickly. And I'm giving you guys a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because you're investigators anyway, so you're getting this, your other crew would probably be having to look it over a lot more, but you guys can go, they've stripped this for parts. Intuitively, you know it. And I think all of you get the same kind of sensation in terms of that knowledge, but Lyra, you're almost certain there's no one here and that there really hasn't been anyone at this ship for a while.
There's nobody here. They've stripped this thing for parts. Looks like a while ago. Look at that.
So they've been at
no
this a while.
footsteps, no nothing, yeah. I don't smell anything either.
Yeah, whatever they're working on. It sure took a lot from that. Oh boy.
The question is where? If they're not here, where are they?
I mean, probably that thing, and I try again to take a deep breath and point at the orb.
Yeah, you guys are a lot closer to that thing now.
Can we see any other details on it now that we're closer?
Yeah, now
also,
that you're...
Does it look like it's falling apart or coming together?
It looks like it's, it looks like parts, you know what? You can give me investigation or Arcana checks, but with disadvantage because you're still quite far away.
Okay.
If you want to give, if you want some information on it. You can see that it is being held aloft by some sort of magic. That much you're pretty sure of. Something that is that large and certainly that heavy couldn't be suspended any other way. You can see that there are towers and wires, maybe pipes that are leading up and down into it at varying different places, mostly at the center of it. Now that you're a little closer, You can see it does look as if it's standing on something, but it isn't. Wires and stuff hanging down. What have we got? 13, 10, 5, 10. And they're all investigation.
That was my old roll. Do you want me to roll again?
That was my old one.
Oh yeah, if you're looking at the sphere, yeah.
We're just rolling investigation.
Or Arcana
Or
if you want a more
Arcana,
magical answer. So investigation rollers, you can see that there are towers that are nearby, but they look more like scaffolding than support structures.
To reach it?
Yeah. Or maybe to build it. There is many broken parts and openings. And now you're a little closer, you can tell that it's kind of patchwork, tinkered together by everything and anything available to anyone who built it. A lot of it does look like it was purpose-built, but a lot of it also looks like they've used anything around that they can. The things being sparse here, it's probably why they stripped down this ship.
Yeah.
Errol, you get the sense that the parts that are suspended in the air around it that looked from a distance as if they were falling from it, or something like that, are actually suspended, and they do look like parts that have fallen from it or have been stripped from it in some way. And now that you're a little closer, you can probably all make out. Maybe Cairo, you don't come to this decision for some reason. I think the rest of you, with your combined rolls there, can tell that this thing almost looks as if it took some damage and then it was frozen in time almost. Like the bits that fell off of it fell off and then stopped there. And a lot of them fell to the ground and stopped before they hit the ground. It's totally possible to do. Errol, you understand that there is some plays on time and stuff that you can do. It would take a lot of magical energy. You certainly wouldn't be able to do it at your level of spellcasting, and you know other spellcasters that are pretty strong, and they can usually only hold this type of magic up for a few seconds, at max something like 10 minutes, but for the amount of debris and things that are being suspended in air, it would definitely take a huge amount of energy to do that. And I think that's the sensation you get from this thing, from where you are. You can also see that there are maybe a few small structures built around its base, no more than 4 or 5 kind of patchwork buildings and maybe a couple of tents. Okay, we're just going to take a short break there since the OBS decided to crash, and we're going to go and take a break. So go grab snacks or pee or do whatever you do on our usual breaks, and we'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes. Thanks for watching the show and sticking with the technical difficulties. Why, OBS? Why? We'll see you in a minute. Thanks for watching. Fun. Hey, yes, we're back. I had a feeling that it was going to do that. Technical issues. They're always so great with live streams. As someone who has worked post-production my whole life, I hate live streaming for that reason and that reason alone. Just the tech issues that you would never get in post-production stuff. So, we are back. I can drop this. Yay. Okay. Everything appears to be going just fine. So, before the break, which was a break, an intended break, and not a stream crash, which I'm gonna have to patch together for the rest of the evening for the VOD.
I don't think you will, actually. It looked like it never went down.
Wow.
What?
Technology is so fantastic, and I take everything I said
Yeah.
about live streaming back.
It looks like it. Yep.
What
Uptime
was
still an hour and a half.
What was the last thing that
Very
happened?
good.
I guess I'll just repeat what I said about the thing, that you looked into this sphere, and what you saw was that it's almost certainly being suspended by magic.
Right.
It's a patchwork thing. It's not a solid, perfect sphere. It's made of stuff that they've built, and you can see into it, and you can see strange whirring, blinking lights and stuff nearby, that kind of thing. It looks like some sort of technological thing, the type of thing that you're used to dealing with. It's almost certainly some sort of giant Arcanii. You can see bits that are falling off of it and bits that have broken off of it. A lot of it looking as if it was falling and then frozen, as if it was suspended. Errol working out that it would certainly have been suspended there by some sort of magic. The magic that she might think of is something like time magic that can suspend things in place, but it could be anything. There's all sorts of different ways it could have happened, and you never know with Arcanii as well. You can also see that there are a bunch of structures around the base of it, only a few, 4 or 5, and from the distance that you're at, you can only make out that they're probably patchwork buildings, maybe a couple of tents nearby, but you don't see anybody moving around at all. Doesn't look like anyone's moving around. It looks perfectly still over there. At a guess, you would assume it was abandoned, but you know that there's at least one person over there, thanks to Keepy. The closer you get to this thing, the more you start to notice that there is, in fact, a kind of a low hum coming from it. Just a very, very low rumbling hum, like you might find on a modern-day engine. But in the distance, as you get closer to this thing, you can pick up that kind of hum that seems to be emanating from that area. Yeah, you guys are pretty close now. After a little, maybe another 20 minutes or so, you'll be close enough that you'll be at one of the structures that are at its base. Probably about a 15-minute walk across this thing. Where you are right now, you can see that there are portions of the ground here that have planks of wood that have been placed down that you'd be able to walk along. A sort of makeshift road or bridge between here and the sphere that's floating. Probably it will help you walk there, just not super. You're not going to be blitzing it across there, but the journey between here, the ship, and the sphere will be a little easier. Essentially, this is your final approach. How do you want to do it?
I would like to rest. Now that we know we are approaching the final countdown.
It'll still be an hour.
Yeah.
I imagine, yeah, especially after that walk, we're just like, gotta sit down.
I'm also wounded. I could definitely use just a rest to think, if everyone else is okay with that.
Yeah,
Look, no, I just look over at her and I see she's like bleeding. And Brad, I have something called dark sword.
Did you say dark
A black
sword?
spell book.
Oh yeah, let's see. Can't remember what any of you can do. The spellbook. Let me see what you got.
While you're looking at that, I'm gonna say to Lyra, hey, can I have a look at that?
Yes, please. I mean, we don't need to rest too long if you can help me.
Let me just take a look at that, and I'm gonna go ahead and cure wounds on Lyra.
Before you do that, if you're doing a short rest, you'll be able to use hit die.
I know. She was offering to cure wounds so that we didn't have to wait so long.
Sorry, I wasn't
can't
listening 'cause I was trying to
remember
figure out what the
if-
spellbook was, but yeah.
I can't remember if Geo gave us a time or not.
I don't either.
I assume he didn't. I don't know why he would.
I
He
feel
would have
like
said
it
that
was
you're too
pretty
late,
urgent,
I think is
but
what he said.
Yeah,
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
something like that, or he said like, well,
it won't be long now or some
right.
crap
Right.
like that. So
Yeah.
okay.
That's almost certainly what he would have said, yeah.
Yeah. So I will still need to rest after that. But thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to, if you don't want to have used the cure wounds.
Yeah.
You
that
don't
way-
have,
Oh,
you
sure,
can, you
okay.
can,
Not
yeah,
it,
you
yeah.
can retcon it if you want.
Okay.
The black spellbook, yeah, what do you want to do with it?
I want to see if I can find anything that will ease their breathing and our breathing to make us breathe easier.
In the black spellbook. The black spellbook is kind of the Necronomicon.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it would necessarily have anything that would help you breathe better unless you were already dead and you wanted to reanimate them in some way. But you can roll me either an Arcana check or a Medicine check. And
I'm gonna do a medicine check.
yeah.
19.
19. To help you breathe better, this book suggests all sorts of different roots and poultices and things that you could make. And maybe if you were near a woods or a forest, something like that, you might be able to find some of these items. Or obviously, if you're in a town, you could probably purchase them. But in terms of where you are currently, I don't think the book gives you anything that you would be able to use to make it easier to breathe down here. Although on a 19, maybe after some experience and understanding here, you get the sense that it really is just kind of like being on a mountain. Like the air is a little thinner, and that in theory, you should be adjusting to it. And in fact, you probably feel like you guys are adjusting to it a little bit. You didn't have to make another contract for the second half of the thing here. So you've kind of adjusted to it. You definitely don't feel good. But you've you're not feeling negative effects from it anymore outside of what you already have. So I think once in Fidelia, you've climbed some mountains, I don't know. But you get the sense that it's that same thing, and that as people adjust to it, you could certainly do stuff to help people breathe, and you can create certain things. But with the advice that's in this book, this is like an old witch's book kind of thing, right? So it would give you ideas around poultices and salves, and use this salve on a skeleton, and it'll be able to breathe better. I don't know what the Necronomicon would say, but something like that.
Says that now.
I think we'll feel better. I climbed a mountain once and the breathing got easier. If we lived or were by a forest, I could maybe make something, but I think a rest would be good.
I think so too. And then we'll just figure out what to do with that once we get there, I guess. But I'm betting that scaffolding is shit there.
What could they be doing?
I don't know. It looks like they're building something or trying to prevent something from falling apart. It's kind of hard to tell. It's certainly not holding that thing together. It's just so that they can reach it. I don't know what it is, though.
That hum, though. That hum. What?
Seems to be active somehow.
It'd take a lot of power to... And I sort of, as I say that, I kind of just nod my head a little bit. I'm just gonna sit down.
Sure. Yeah. Errol, how much power would you need? Like, are we talking 2 mages, 8 mages?
Brad, do I know? Because I know that powerful wizards wouldn't even be able to maintain it like this.
Not for this long, not for the hour that you've been traveling towards it. It would take, a team of multiple mages, either tagging in and out or all just maintaining concentration at the same time on something that's this big, to suspend something like this in the air, and to stop it from falling down. You've probably read...
Could there be a device or something that amplifies magical powers to be able to do this?
Absolutely, and it's almost certainly going to be something like that that's happening here, as opposed to a team of mages that are doing it. This looks a lot more like an Arcanii. However, it would still take a ridiculous amount of power. The little stones that you found in the spider produce almost none of the power that it was using. It was still using elements of clockwork elements to run and to function. It's just enhanced in that it's able to be remotely controlled. The thing that would have powered that thing would take so many more of those. It would take thousands and thousands of those kind of items, something like that, to power this. Way too much. That thing shouldn't. It's a lot. It would take a lot. I don't think you have a number on it. but a
And I
lot.
don't see anything that is powering it nearby at all,
Nope.
visibly.
Unless it's the pipes and wiring coming down, but it's too far away for you to tell. I need to go and tell my hamster off again.
I don't think that mages would do this. This looks more like some sort of device.
Arcanii?
Yeah, but it would have to be a really strong device. And I don't see it. I mean, we could get closer and investigate, but I don't know if it's worth our time.
Well, definitely we should get closer.
Could be maybe underground or something.
Well, there are wires, but I don't know where they lead. And I can't really see from back here.
All right, well, we're here to stop something and stop it quickly, so once we get in there, I guess we need to determine if they were trying to take it apart or if they're trying to put it together, and whatever they're trying to do, we're trying to do the opposite. I think.
I stop them.
Yeah. I pull the pocket watch out of my breast pouch, I guess. Crazy thing. Is there like what is the time on this pocket watch?
Let's see. The time says it is exactly 8 o'clock.
So it's not like spinning or counting down or anything for us. It's literally just telling me the time where I
Yes.
was
The
previously.
second
Okay.
hand isn't moving. It's stopped.
Fuck. Okay. Okay. Everybody ready?
Ready as we're gonna be, I think.
All right. Let's get to it. Move quietly and quickly. And we're trying to determine what they're trying to do with this thing.
You got it.
So, did you...
We've been here for like an hour, and then we'll go.
Okay, so if you're doing all the long rests, you've used as many hit die as you want to use.
Short rest, and yes.
And, yeah, short rest. Warlock, you get all of your spells back on a short rest. Anything else any of you get on a short rest, you get back. But I have a feeling that's none of you.
Except our exhaustion point, right?
You get,
Oh, yeah.
You clear your exhaustion. And yeah, I think you are good. Yeah. So.
Okay.
In fact, just remembered, following silently along is Hilda.
Right.
And yeah, she's good too. She's good. So, rubbing the bump on the side of her head, Hilda stands up from her rest, looking like she's still confused. Every now and then she'd probably been mumbling things and agreeing with you and you know, adding to the general conversation as you guys move along. So you can assume that within your roles, her roles have also been there. But yeah, she's still acting a little odd. The lack of oxygen and the bump on the noggin, she keeps kind of just going and grunting. But she seems fine, but also strange. You don't know her that well, so it's fine. And all of you pick up your stuff. I assume you're probably staying near or in the ruins of this ship, just to stay out of the rain, maybe a little or something. Maybe look it over while you were there. You don't find anything at all of worth. It's totally been stripped bare before you grab bags and pick up your weapons and continue to move. Are you moving along the planks of wood that traverse the more difficult terrain areas, or are you taking a different route to your approach?
If they've laid stuff down to make it easier, yeah, I'll take that, but quietly. I don't want to alert anybody.
Yeah. Okay. So it takes you about 10 minutes to get close enough that you can look at this thing and consider that it's almost certainly being suspended in place. there's a humming coming from it, just a constant rumbling sound. And in fact, Errolpay, give me a perception check. An 8. Okay. Yeah, you guys start moving towards this thing, and as you get closer again, it's huge. It's well over 200 feet in diameter. There are indeed a few smaller buildings at the bottom, just patchwork things like you might find in a slum where they just grab 5 bits of wood or metal and create a small structure and quickly bolt them together. You can see a few tents around. There are things, boxes, kegs. It looks as if people might have been living here for a very short amount of time. A small kind of ramshackle camp that sits at the base a little ahead between where the very center of the base of the sphere would be and closer towards where you're coming from. You're pretty sure now that there are not just wiring, huge, great big, thick copper coils and pipes that lead upwards from a sort of central area up into the center of this sphere, but also that a lot of them seem to be going into the ground. You can see that they've punctured into the ground and seem to have tunneled downwards. There are these towers and structures that also appear to have been built somewhat into the ground. How they did it, who knows, but they're totally partially embedded. You can see that the ladders run up and down outside of not just the these towers and these coils and pipes and wiring. You can see that they have a sort of scaffolding in areas, as if they built the things but didn't take the scaffolding down other than what they needed to build another area. The thing is probably only about 50 feet in the air, and then it stretches outwards. The pieces that are broken off of it are vibrating, and you can see from this distance that they're being held there and vibrating in a stasis. The pillars and metal ladders and ship rigging that sits as well. There's a bunch of ship rigging that goes between a lot of this stuff. You can see are certainly not holding this thing up in the air. There's just stuff that's pouring out of it as if it's connected to something, potentially something underground. Are you guys like walking up to it kind of thing? There's really not really another approach, if I'm honest. It's kind of, there's a mountainside near you, but it's not really a mountain that you can easily get into and hide on. There really is kind of a central pathway that leads towards this thing. Again, now that you're closer, you totally can't see anybody here. But what's your approach before I give you any more info?
Imagine just a silent walk up the maybe easiest path.
It's
we're
probably
kind
the
of trying to beat a
craziest
trail.
thing. Yeah, it's probably the craziest thing we've ever seen.
For
so
sure.
I imagine I'm just kind of in awe as well and silently approaching.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes.
I think I had an original intent to ask Delia to see if she could tell if there were any dead bodies around, but once I get really close to this thing and I see it vibrating, the pieces in stasis, I think I'm just kind of staring up at it and walking forward in shock.
I would be looking at the ground, like I know she just mentioned I would already be looking for dead bodies, so I'd be looking below. Is there any bodies there, or can I sense any bodies underground?
Why, yes, there are lots of bodies. As you walk over to this thing with really no other approach available to you, you begin to just move towards it. You can see that the area in front of where you are, and as you get closer and closer to the bottom of this thing, is the area is littered with broken ship parts, old kegs, boxes, campfires even, wiring, piping, rope. There are these ramshackle buildings that have been constructed from both wood and metal. There are tents that you can see in the distance, one of them open with the flap kind of moving in the light breeze. You can see inside that there looks like sacks, probably of just food, grain, supplies, something like that. No one to use them, nobody around at all. And as you get closer and closer, you start to pick up that some of the scrap and the bits and things on the floor, there are also body bags. There are some body bags that look like they were made out of the blankets and things that they were probably sleeping in or brought with them. You can see sleeping bags. You can see torn bits of linen that have just been wrapped around certain bodies. And as you get closer and closer, you can see that there's quite a lot of them. They run either side of the road. They look arranged and carefully placed, but they're not buried. They're not.
They smell, right? They're not like sleeping. They smell like dead.
Oh yeah, no, they're dead bodies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Maybe as you get closer and closer, you can see that there's 40, maybe 50.
Holy shit.
Large and small. The area underneath the
What does that mean?
sphere.
Like children?
It means kids.
It could mean a gnome.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
halflings and gnomes
Gnomes.
exist. Halflings and gnomes exist, but it could mean kids. The area underneath the sphere is just a complete ghost town. Bar one man. And you can see now as you guys walk over, there's a gentleman that walks out from behind some of the coiled wires and piping and things. He walks over towards you, and you can see he's kind of an older man, maybe in his 60s, a thick white beard, the dragonfly tattoo upon his neck. This is Geo, the man that you recognize. This time it looks probably like he's in the flesh, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Can I smell him?
How far can you smell? He's still pretty far away, I would imagine.
Let's see. I don't know. I have some crazy senses. I don't know. How far away is he?
Give me a perception check, and normally I'll give you advantage if you were close, right? But you're far enough away that, and it's relatively
17.
windy. You can smell him.
Okay, so
Yeah.
he's real.
Yes, he smells. He smells like his surroundings, like he's been here for some time. He smells, but you get the sense of that kind of musty smell of a pirate. You get a whiff of rum, maybe some food, something he'd eaten off of him, and probably just some body odor. Not necessarily something like grotesque, but just the smell of a human male. You can see that he's there. He holds up his Arcanii glove that you can see, the same thing, this strange thin kind of glove with metal and wiring of its own, as well as runes and some of those stones embedded on it that run down one side of it. And he kind of casually waves towards you, but his face looks kind of grave and sullen, and he shouts over towards you as you approach. He says, "That's far enough."
Is there a dead body near me?
Yes. They're
I would
everywhere.
reach down and try to unwrap the face and try to determine like how they died. Maybe
You-
like it was it through magic or something?
Yeah, you can indeed do that. Give me a medicine or an investigation check.
18.
Yeah, you reveal the face of a woman maybe in her 30s. You can see that she's a human. She actually looks like she might have been dead for no longer than a week or so. She looks pretty normal. She doesn't look like bloodied or beaten or anything like that. From the quick investigation you do, she's still wearing her clothing, and you start to quickly do a quick post-mortem here with very little to work from. You can tell that whatever killed her was quick. It would be what you would assume to be something like a heart attack or some sort of quick thing that would take you out fast and maybe internal. There isn't really any sense that there is an external damage that was dealt to her. She wasn't hit by a fireball or something. Whatever killed her could have been some sort of psychic damage from magic, which you've seen plenty of times. It could have been something like a heart attack, could have been an embolism, one of these kind of internal quick deaths. She looks pretty much like she would have been killed quickly, and whatever it was did it fast. However, as you're looking over this thing, you hear the voice of Geo say, "Get your paws off her."
I cover her face up again. And then I go to the next guy, or the next body next to it, and I uncover that face and just look at him and then look at the body.
You want to know how they have died?
You know, is it that obvious?
His gloved hand points upwards above him. It was that.
I cover up the face.
What is it?
That is, Cedric calls it vengeance. I would have called it, justice.
You guys are bad at naming. Let's really rethink that name. It's both are kind of, snooze.
Well,
Where
the
did it
names
come
will
from?
not matter soon enough. Where did it come from? We built it. We built it. He puts his hand, he waves it across the bodies.
Well, then how are you not dead, but they're all dead?
Well, I was not here. The first time it was used.
Used for what?
As the name implies, it was vengeance. That, Arcanii. It is probably going to end the world.
Can I start inspecting the copper ropes and all that?
Yeah,
Or
give me
wiring?
an investigation check.
While he's, going on his bad guy speech. 18.
Yeah, you start looking it over. It's hard to determine what it is. It
Does
really
it seem like it might be the thing powering it at all?
it doesn't look like a weapon, which is what the Arch-Inquisitor suspected it was. If this is a thing that caused that phenomena of the snow, that did something that was so powerful that it was able to create such a strange geological effect to the entire world, then it's not a conventional weapon in the sense of a bow and arrow or a gun or something like that. Whatever it does is strange. You get the sense that it's being either earthed or powered by something underground, and that it's drawing energy upwards in the same way that the stones draw energy to power the spider. This is being powered by the stone, which is maybe the continent underneath you. It doesn't necessarily translate one to one, and I think that would stand out to you. That doesn't seem right, but still, it's not what you're able to know or work out, because on an 18 you don't know.
Does it look like if we cut the wiring that might be good?
It does look like you would probably cut the power from it, but it's a lot. Like, you'd need an industrial sized thing to cut this much metal and wire. It's a lot of it. There's probably 50 foot worth of thick wires and coils and piping, and you're not too sure what connects to where and why. If you knew what this was, you would know exactly what to unplug. Since you don't know what you would need to break directly. But you are pretty sure that that's what it is, and that's what you get on the 18.
And it's made out of copper, the wiring.
Yeah, I was just thinking that same thing.
Most of it looks like it is. Yeah. While Ellie is standing there, maybe kind of tapping a chin and trying to work it out. Did I say Ellie?
Yeah.
Wow. I've probably done it multiple times, and that's why we don't name...
Ellie's now here to kill this guy.
That's why we don't name characters with E's for two player characters ever again. Geo says to you all, and says, "In less than 5 minutes, we're firing it up again. And considering what it did to the crew last time, I would say none of us are making it out of here. It's happening."
Does it do?
Well,
I walk up to, while he's going through the bad guy speech some more, I walk up to Infidelia and I'm like, I just really need you to distract him.
Well, okay. And then I'm gonna. He's got dead bodies around him, right?
Everywhere. They're around you, they're around him, they're all over the place.
I want to
Mostly
try to
probably-
raise one of them next to him.
Okay, how do you do that?
I have a couple things. I think I have Undead Obsession. Since I've never had this kind of stuff before, can you help me, Brad?
Okay, I'm bringing it up. I'm understanding what the silence means.
Thank you.
So let's see. That really
That
just
math
lets
is
you
fucked.
identify an undead creature.
Okay.
And then you've got, yeah, I think you need a spell. Let's see if you have anything like that.
And I don't think I have anything, but can I try? Because I had seen someone do it a couple times once, and I want to see if I can do it.
Yeah, you might be able to.
Okay.
Oh. This is a ridiculously hard spell.
Okay.
It's a spell that you are very aware of. It's probably your favorite spell of all time. It's called Raise
Okay.
Dead. It's a 5th level necromancy spell, and it usually takes a 500 gold piece diamond, which it consumes. I will let you roll an Arcana check, and with disadvantage, and the DC is absurdly high. If you roll over a... You know what? I'm going to be super nice. If you roll over a 20, you're just going to summon up the power to do this.
Okay. I have a little bag of sand. Can I, since diamonds are kind of like squeezed, can I try using the little bag of sand to
Yes,
kind
you
of help?
can. It doesn't help you in any way other than giving you even the slight chance to do this in the first place.
Thank you. Okay. So disadvantage. I look at a dead body next to him, and I remember this one time I saw this dude raise a body up, and I saw he had the diamond. I know I don't have that, but I'm like feeling pretty confident, and I just start muttering under my breath this what sounds like Latin or some language you can't understand, and I stare deeply at this body.
Oh, look at that as well. A
God
5.
damn it.
A 5. Yeah,
The other roll was a 20, though, for those listening.
You start summoning up the Raise Dead spell. It's crazy. In your head, you're summoning up the body nearby. There is power. You understand this power. It comes from within you. Do you remember that succubus you met?
Yeah, I do.
They were telling you all these horrible things about how to use the spell, how to bring bodies from death back to life to do your bidding as undead slaves. But it's no good because it doesn't work at all. Just like every single time you've tried this before. Just like all of us when we're young and we try and move a pen with our minds, you're just like, maybe it'll do it, and it doesn't do it. That's what happens. Geo continues to speak, or the whole time this is happening.
Yeah.
You're speaking Latin.
What does it do?
Erope is thinking
I'm just like looking like
over
that's
what
not
to do.
distracting him.
And Infidelia begins muttering under her breath. And Geo very casually is standing around just speaking to you about what the thing does. He says,
it is an interesting thing. I would have said it wouldn't have worked had I not seen with my own eyes the damage it has wrought to Legrin. Vengeance, Cedric called it. Have you not lost anybody? All of you. Do you not want justice for those that you have lost?
How is killing anyone justice?
I did not kill them. They were willing to die for this cause.
What cause? What are you trying to do with this thing?
he moves around a little more, kind of looking up and down. He says,
A long time ago, Cedric and I and several others, we were, well, I suppose you would call us pirates. But I got a code, and the bandits that burned my boys in that carriage made off with my daughter. They will get their justice. Cedric, he says that if we are able to kill the gods, are we not gods ourselves? What do you think?
You're telling
Trying.
me this device kills gods?
Yes. That's
While he's
precisely what it
doing
does.
this, can I do something?
Yeah.
Can I start trying to? I don't know if I can do this. Can I start trying to transmute the copper into wood?
Trying to transmute the copper into wood. All of it?
Along well, like just a big enough ring around, probably something like around kind of towards like the bottom, because I'm pretty short, so I wouldn't want it to be like way up there.
Yeah, that's... How... isn't the range tiny? Isn't it like 3 foot?
Let's see. Wait, where did I put it? Bio? I don't see a range.
Let me see. I closed it.
1 cubic foot of material.
Yeah. You can do 1 cubic foot, or the copper within that cubic foot, and you can transmute it to wood.
I think I would do that.
Yeah.
I think I would do like, like I'm trying to make just like a doorway or a window or something in the middle.
Right. Okay. Let's see. How does it look, and how close do you have to be to do that? Does it give you a range?
No.
Wow.
Well, not on the thing I copied and pasted.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that should be fine. Okay. How does it look, first of all? What are you doing? Because you're doing something.
Well, I think as Infidelia starts to do the chanting, and then he goes on about what the device does, I think that you just see like Errol just going like this and like drawing a box and kind of like sizing it up, yeah, and just like looking about the device as he's talking about it. But then like you'll just see this little wooden square appear on the side of the copper wiring.
It happens, and I think only you see it.
Yeah.
I think only you're aware of what's happening, because it's happening on such a small portion of one of the central areas of this thing that are running up into it. You see a bunch of wiring turn wooden. You know that it would have broken any sort of weird connection that they've got going on. And now give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay. Oops. Oh, sorry.
I just rolled twice.
10.
A 10. You don't know what happens. There doesn't appear to be any effect.
Oh, I wasn't done.
Okay.
Can I cast grease on the wood and then fire off a firebolt?
Yes, you can. Let's see. Well, that's a spell. Same thing?
Yeah.
Same kind of look to how you do this. You just kind of...
I think it's one of those like the it's like Errol is very like yes, I'm trying. Oh no, if I go too much to the left, then okay. No, I go right there, and then cast grease real quick, and then firebolt. You just see the fire in the hand, so people would see that probably,
Right.
and then just see it fire right at the copper.
You fire off this thing. Everybody sees it launch past where you are. It hits this thing and you see the grease ignite. And you see Geo, kind of his eyes open, and the firebolt launches past him. He sees it hit the thing. You see him wince. And give me another... In fact, all of you can give me perception checks with disadvantage.
22. My other one was 23 for those listening.
Oops.
5.
1 moment, please.
12.
Mine's a 9.
Okay, so 22. And that's the only one. 22. At the very top of this thing, you see an area on the inside which was lit up flicker out as soon as that explodes and the all of this area is busted up. It was flickering and now it turns off as if you've turned off some sort of light on the inside, as if a torch went out on the inside of this thing. Geo watches the thing go past and then turns to you with a kind of snarl on his face and says,
Very well. I had hoped it would not have to come to this.
And he raises his hand up and you see him click with his little Thanos gauntlet, and you see the lights on the side of it kind of turn on. From the area near you, in some of the junk about where you are, there is a rumbling. You see things begin to move and stand up and come to life as 4 creatures pop up out of what looks like rubble.
Great.
We should really kill this guy. I just see Arrow like, oh no.
Yeah, we should.
I would
Let's see, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
If I had to take a gander, I bet these would be related to the 8-legged species.
Oh yeah, they look very similar. So you see 2 smaller versions of the spider crawl up. Tiny little clockwork-looking things with one of those strange kind of colorful gems in the back glowing white. You see 2 other things that look like beetles, like scarab beetles, that crawl up out of some of the junk around you as well. And I'm going to bring you over here in a second. Any day now. Please, return it, please. Up. And we are now at the map. And I need some initiatives, please. So, just to give you an idea of the scale here, there's this thing all the way ahead of you. There's Geo here. There are some beetles and spiders about you. And, I need to roll a lot of initiatives. Okay. Let me see here. Wow. That's a lot of ones. Alright. So. Goes on a 4. That goes on a 4. That goes on a 10. Let's roll another one. What the fuck? That goes on a 4 as well. Alrighty then. Oh, and Hilda's here. Who also exists.
Goodness, because she's a beast.
Yes. Oh, yeah. But I will control Hilda. I have a lot of sheets and things I need to open up. And that's a 10 as well. And that's Hilda starting. So, these things pop up out of the ground. You can see these kind of clockwork things, these strange Arcanii devices, these tinkered insects that start to move around you. The first person to dart into battle is Hilda, who is, I'm guessing, gonna run over here. Can't get there. Not good. What else can you do? Can you do anything? Can you do anything? No. I guess Hilda will run over to this one, and she's got swords up and ready to go. There is one of these beetles now, which moves in a very strange way. Just checking what it can do. Alright. then I guess the beetle just starts running towards whoever's closest. Lyra runs over to you. I don't know if you're even there, PB. Doesn't matter. If you're not, he gets an instant crit. 20. That's definitely a hit. Wow. 25 piercing damage and 4 poison damage from this beetle. But she's not here. So when she comes back, she gets
I'm so sorry. I'm here.
Oh,
I heard you calling for me. Sorry. Okay. I'm here. What happened?
You got a beetle
I'm here,
launched
Chris.
itself at you and bit you for 25 piercing damage and 4 poison damage.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I think I can react. Let me just double check here really quickly. Sorry. Okay, never mind. Okay, sorry. How much damage?
29.
I'm sorry, what?
29 damage.
I'm down.
Beetle jumps onto Lyra. You see these kind of wings flicker, and then it's moving quicker than it should be able to move. No clockwork construct can move this quickly as it darts across the horrible jagged ground here. It lands on the front of Lyra, and then she's falling. She hits the ground hard. She seems to be unconscious. The thing flickers. Geo holds his hand up and waves at you and says,
You may back down at any moment. Turn around and leave.
Anybody respond?
I got a response when it's my turn.
All right, well then it's your turn.
I might take one for the team with this. Oh no. Let's see. How far is he? He's far away. So, how far can I move?
We'll say on your sheet under speed.
Oh, speed.
At the top.
Oh, 30. 30 feet.
Yeah, 30.
I gotta remember that dot. Okay, I think it was like right there. I'm gonna cast Grease on Geo.
Okay.
60 feet. And use my Firebolt cantrip.
Okay.
19.
All right. First of all, Grease. Are you using Firebolt as a bonus action?
Yeah. Can I use a cantrip as a bonus action?
No.
Okay, well then I just do the Grease then. I literally am casting Grease all over this guy.
All right. Yeah. So the ground underneath where he is kind of turns to grease. It becomes very slippery. You see him kind of move his foot, kind of slicking in this grease, and I think he needs to immediately make a dex save. Yes. Let's see. What against what though? I guess against your spell save DC. What's your spell save DC?
Where do I see that?
It'll be the on the spell page at the top. There are 3 boxes. I think it's the middle one.
Spell save DC is 15.
15. Yeah, Geo falls over. His legs go and he falls down. He is now prone on the ground. He falls hard. And then it's your turn. You can do something else if you want to do something else.
What can because I'm used to playing Ellie. I don't really know what I can do on a wizard. I can
some spells have bonus actions, and probably that's it on a wizard. I doubt you have any actions or abilities that are bonus action stuff. So you'd have to check which of your spells have the bonus action tag. Glancing at what you've got there, I don't think any of them are bonus action.
Okay.
Shield is a reaction, so if you get hit by something, you can do that. I think that's it. If you see one, I'll let you do it out of turn in a second.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah.
Lyra, give me a death saving throw, please. You wake up. There is a thing on you. You can see that it has it's stuck you with like a stinging needle. It looks like. It doesn't look like you would find it on a natural creature. It looks literally like a needle. You can see that in the needle there is some sort of horrible dark green fluid, a poison of some sort that you've been stuck with. But you wake up. You are currently prone, and the thing is on you technically, but you are laying on the ground. I think you get a whole turn as well, if memory serves. You wake the fuck up on a natural 20 on a death save, and you get a whole turn.
Okay. Can I get up? Is it preventing me from getting up?
No,
I'm just prone, not grappled.
Yeah, it's tiny. It's not very big.
Okay. Then I... Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna do insightful fighting on Geo, actually. As a bonus action, you can make a wisdom check against a creature you can see that isn't incapacitated. Contested by the target's charisma deception check. If you succeed, you can use sneak attack against that target, even if you don't have advantage on the attack roll. The benefit will last for 1 minute.
Sorry, what was it called?
Insightful fighting.
Insightful fighting.
You gain the ability to decipher an opponent's tactics and develop a counter to them.
Okay, you see him doing some strange things. He doesn't even look like he's trying to fight. He's messing around on the ground, and you see him bringing up that that glove that he's wearing. He looks like he's fucking with the glove. Then you see him reach into a pocket, and he pulls out a knife. Very small knife.
Okay. So I'm still gonna use this insightful fighting. So I think he needs to do. I do a wisdom. I make a wisdom against his charisma.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a 12.
Okay. 17.
Okay. And you get what?
So
exactly.
I get advantage on attacks on him for the next minute.
Nice. And is that an action, or are you doing that now?
That's my bonus action.
Your action.
So now I'm going to attack him. Yes. Okay. I will be using my rifle.
Yep. Give me the attack roll.
20.
20 is a hit.
Okay, I need to roll a 1d10. And then I think I add sneak attack to this, right?
Yes, because you have advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so on a D10 on a 1, the silenced rifle either makes a loud bang heard for 100 feet or it misfires. Player choice. Okay, so you don't do that. You get an 8. So give me all the damage and a sneak attack.
I'm clicking the sneak attack, but nothing's happening. So do I just do the 2d6, right?
Give me the damage and a 2d6, yeah. So 4. You also get the damage from the rifle itself. Don't forget.
Yeah, I hit the button, but it's not doing anything. So I was just waiting for a second to see if it would catch up. There we go. Oh, it added it.
Okay, hang on. What am I seeing here? Oh, there it is.
9.
There it
is. It just took a second.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
9 and a 5. We'll take the 9 and the 5.
Just ignore everything else that finally went through. So.
Which is 14.
Yes.
How do you kill him?
Headshot.
He's fucking around on the ground. He pulls out a knife, and then a bullet strikes him. You see his head knocked back immediately, the bullet coming out of the exit wound at the back, and he falls dead. Creatures are still moving around you.
Yeah. I have half movement left. I don't know what he was doing, but I'm not going to move towards him. I will try to move out of the way of this fucking beetle, though.
Okay.
When I get the nat 20, do I get any HP back, or am I just on 1?
1.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay. No, I'm not actually gonna leave because he'll have opportunity, right? If I go?
Yep.
Because, then I'm gonna stay here.
All right. Cairo.
First thing I do is say, we gotta get that glove. We gotta get that glove off him. And I'm
On it, if you can keep me safe. Which
I'll
is
try.
hard.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on Lyra.
Okay.
So here's that.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my god. Because I'm not much of a healer.
It's
There you
alright.
go, for what it's worth.
Hero.
And I don't suppose I can. Cure Wounds can't be bonus. I'm not sure on this character what it
No,
can
Cure
and
Wounds
can't
is
do.
a
It's
full
an action.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's Healing Word, which is a bonus heal.
Gotcha. Right, so I can't do much else other than as a bonus action I will pluck my bow, which starts a minute timer that I hopefully can catch on the next round. So
Okay. The creatures are still twisting and whirring and going crazy. You manage to heal Lyra a little, and then Infidelia, it is your turn.
I'm going to immediately cast Scorching Ray towards each of the beetles. I think are there 4 beetles
There are
total?
4, yeah.
It says here at a higher level. Here, I'll put it in the chat. It'll let me cancel. I swear one of these days I'll figure out how to use all of this stuff.
Okay, I still don't know how
But what
to use
do
it
I
either.
hit?
Let me read it again. So Scorching, I think you just do it multiple times.
You just hit the scorching ray button.
In the, let's see here. So you create
She
3
shouldn't
rays
need to
per
do it.
round. When you do it,
Yeah.
you can create 1 additional ray. Are you doing it at a high level?
Yes.
Okay, so you're doing it at second. In fact, I think, so as a warlock, you do everything at 1 flat level. It's not the same as everything else.
Okay.
So let me double check what that is for you. Let me just jump onto this page. It'll be quicker. And nope, doesn't tell me. Okay. Warlock. Level 3. I think everything probably is cast at second level at level 3, but we'll find out. Yes. What level is, so it's always, everything you cast is at second level, no matter what, all
Okay.
the time. So on your core page, in the dead middle of the page, you'll see Scorching Ray under attacks and spellcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Try clicking that one.
Okay.
Yes, and then do it 3 times. We'll go clockwise on the left, as in the attack rolls, not the damage. Oh, wait,
I'm
actually,
sorry.
wait. No, you might be right. 3, you hold them at range, make a ranged spell attack for each ray. Yes, each one has its own thing. So the first one was an 11 and the 5. We'll do that, but roll Scorching Ray 3 more times to determine which
Okay.
hits. 11. 2 more. Is it doing it?
I rolled, it was an 8. Maybe it just hasn't shown up for you yet.
Oh, 11, 8, 11. You got 1 more.
Okay. Oh.
25. So the one on the far right that is in front of Hilda, the spider, is a hit. So
Okay.
give me damage on that last one.
6.
6. This Scorching Ray, how does it look from you? Because it's probably somehow demonic.
Yeah, I hold my hand up and I make a fist and I push it forward and it's like black lightning shoots from my hands and then it changes into flames as it gets closer to each of the spiders and dissipates before 3 of them, but then the last one it hits.
Right. Yeah, they're like jumping around all over the place. Everything is moving ridiculously quickly. One of these Scorching Rays launches out. You see Hilda kind of bringing a scimitar up, and then bam, you see it strike and ignite, hitting and damaging this tiny little construct spider in the in front of Hilda. So, one hit there, lots of fire. Do you want to do anything on a bonus or maybe move?
Let me see. I'm just gonna move forward. No, I'm going to just move closer to Lyra and Cairo. So just a little bit closer to them, but to keep all of the spiders in my line of sight and to kind of watch where Errol's running to provide cover if I need to.
Okay. Spider's turn. Which one? This one? Okay. Oh, nasty little shit. Okay, Spider 1, which is in front of Hilda, is going to attempt to use its trimming blades to attack rolls. A 23 and a 14 against Hilda, which Hilda has an AC of 16. So one hit on that one. On hit, possible unmaking, it says, which sounds fun, wouldn't you say? 10 slashing damage dealt to her, and then okay, so that was a 23. Yes, this is going to happen. When the trimming blade attack roll exceeds the target's AC by 5 or more, they must succeed on a DC 13 Dex save, which I'll do now.
This is what happened to me while I was gone, right? I'm assuming. Nope. Oh, okay.
Did succeed on it. So this thing kind of just launches out a horrible little blade. You were attacked by a beetle. This is a spider.
Oh, okay.
The thing slashes at Hilda. It deals 10 damage, which is a lot, by the way, because remember, you're level 3. You're not your usual level 5 or 6 selves. And the next spider goes. Next spider rushes towards Cairo. Oh, wait, hang on. Nope. Towards Infidelia. 45 feet. How much can you move? Alright. No, actually, yeah, towards Infidelia, which means it gets up to you, Infidelia. It gets behind you. You hear the skittering noise of these little metallic legs running around behind you. Ding, 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 ding. It gets to you, but doesn't do anything. And then the final beetle launches its way towards Cairo. Cairo, a beetle flies towards you. It is going to try and bite you.
Terrifying.
On a 9, it buzzes past you. You feel the thing fly towards you. Maybe you just turn your head instinctively and it flies past. You hear just left of your ear a little ka-ching of these metallic mandibles as they bite at you, and you just about manage to avoid being hit by them. Bringing us back round to the top of the round, but sort of not the top of the round. Let's see, who is first in the turn order? Errolpay, roll me a d4. Two.
Yeah.
There is that whirring sound, that's the humming, gets significantly louder. From what sounds like not just inside the sphere in front of you, but also from underneath you. There is a rumbling now, as if it's drawing energy in, and it is Hilda's turn. Hilda, I guess, is just going to attack. What does Hilda do? Yeah, two attacks. 2. Wow, crit on the second one, which is going to deal 16 damage. You see her spin these swords around, one flying towards the spider. It avoids it, but you see that it's a feint as she brings the second sword of hers up and strikes the little Arcanii spider here. Wow, that was a lot of damage, but not enough. You see it kind of just like cleave half of this thing off of it, You see its legs break and part of the side of it break away. You can see some exposed elements from inside. Some steam pops out from somewhere within it, but it's still kind of moving. It kind of drags itself on the remaining legs, turns sideways, adjusts itself, and starts running kind of up on its remaining 4 legs on one side towards where she is. The beetle, which is in front of Lyra and programmed to kill Lyra, is going to try and bite Lyra again on a 15. Was your AC?
Makes it, breaks it.
The bite, again, this thing whirring and twisting and spinning around in front of you suddenly rights itself. It brings that kind of needle forward and launches it towards you. You feel those mandibles clamp down. You feel the needle bite into your skin at another portion of your body, and it deals 16 damage in total, 14 piercing and 2 poison damage to you, which I'm guessing knocks you on your ass again. Same thing, I think. It moves way too quickly. You see Lyra fire off a shot. You see Geo's head kind of explode, and then this thing attaches to her, and she closes her eyes and falls to one side as she is once again knocked unconscious, bringing us to Errolpay. The only person not being targeted right now by one of these things.
Can I go 60 feet? Like,
Yeah,
if I use
you
my
can.
action as well?
Yeah, if you do your action to dash.
I'm going straight to him, which I think is... He was 60 feet, so that's right before 60 feet.
Okay, yeah, you
And-
run. You just see Errolpay just dashing. Everyone's spinning around, dealing with these bugs and the whirring, and that rumbling kicks up as Errolpay runs all the way over to Geo's body.
Is that all I can do? Because I want to try and take the glove.
You can do it on your next turn, yeah.
Okay. Dang it. Okay.
Lyra, give me another death save. Uh, 12 is a make. But you're still unconscious, so mark on the little thing, 1 make. Bringing us to Cairo again.
Right. Remind me of the debuff for damage for a short bow. Like how many feet I have to be away to do full damage. Isn't it like 10 feet or something?
Oh, if you, yeah, you have disadvantage on things that are right next to you
Within
in
melee range.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy south of me that tried to attack me, I can hit without disadvantage, right?
Yeah, you can hit any
Or-
of them but this one, the one that's just
Gotcha.
north of you, yeah. You
Okay.
can hit all of these 3.
The one that is programmed to hit me, I'm gonna go for because Lyra is down, so presumably that one's not gonna try and eat her. And
This
I'm gonna
one?
do.
Yeah. You're going for this
Yeah.
one here in front of you. This is the only one you'll have disadvantage on.
Yeah, no, I'm not going for that. I'm going for the
for
one
this
south
one?
of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one's actually the one
so
trying
the
to
one
get
south of me
infidelic.
is not the beetle that went for
This
me.
is the one that went for you, yeah. It's just
Okay,
flying around
so-
your head within 5 feet of you.
Got you. I'm going for the one south of me then, not the one that went for me.
Okay.
I thought it whizzed past when it tried to get me. I'm gonna do. I plucked my bow, so I have that additional 5 damage
Yep.
if I hit. Also gonna do Hunter's Mark on this beetle, and then Songbow.
Okay. Give me the attack roll.
21.
That's a hit.
All right,
Give me
so
the
the damage will be +5 from Songbow and then Hunter's Mark as well, right? So, oh boy. So that would be 8 piercing +5 is 13 +2 is 13, 14, 15. Am I mathing that right?
I believe so. I think you can tick that Colossus Slayer on and off, by the way.
Yeah, where the hell is
So,
that?
in the...
Oh, yeah.
Head in the middle of the screen. If you tick that off,
Yeah,
if you hit a creature that has lost some hit points, you get the extra Colossus Slayer, but this one hasn't.
Right. And it
You
has
hit a
not.
damage when it does more. So we ignore the
Thank you
Colossus
for-
Slayer, you get the 8, you get the 2, and also did you say you get an extra 5?
I do get 5 from Songbow, and that only lasts a minute. So,
Okay. 15 damage, nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you fire off an arrow. There's a song that follows the arrow through the air as this thing is launched towards the spider, which is trying to bite at Infidelia. The same thing happens, I think, as with Hilda, in that you just destroy the back end of it. You see the abdomen of this spider kind of explode into parts. But it still seems to be functioning well enough that it's kind of just trying to repeatedly bite towards where Infidelia is and spin these little horrible spinning blades that it's pulled out of its body, and it's whirring towards where Infidelia is. But yeah, you damage it up pretty good.
Okay.
And that brings us to Infidelia's turn.
Okay, so there's the one that's trying to bite me, right?
Yep.
I'd like to do chill touch on it. No, never mind. Well, okay, it's a machine. It's clearly a machine, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so this deals necrotic damage.
Okay.
I mean, I'm using logic. It's not going to damage a machine. So.
I see what you're thinking here.
Yeah. So
Let's find out.
So you create I'm sorry, these are new skills I'm learning. You create a ghostly skeletal hand in the space of a creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the creature to assail it with the chill of the grave. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 necrotic damage. All right, my logic tells me that machines don't take necrotic damage very well.
But they can rust.
Yeah, no, you can damage it. It will work.
With necrotic?
Yeah.
D&D's weird.
Okay, well then, if I know that as Infidelia, because I would assume that I would, Katie knows it as necrotic damage of flesh, so that's where my brain was getting stuck. I'm going to cast Chill Touch on the one right trying to bite me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, the attack roll, is it an attack roll? Let's see.
Okay, sorry, everybody.
It's okay, I didn't know either.
11.
11 is a miss anyway. You presumably try and grab at it to try and apply the chill touch to it, and it just kind of does a horrible twisting kind of cartwheel on its horrible little legs, twisting around out of the way of you. Again, it moves really quickly. These things are absurdly fast. They only stop to attack. Other than that, they're pretty hard to track through the air. You still have a bonus action or possible movement.
Yeah, but if I move away from it, it can hit me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna stand here and brace as Infidelia. I'm just gonna brace for the attack because I don't want to provoke it and run away from it.
Okay. End of your turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's gonna try and get you back with its horrible little blades here. 2 attacks coming in. A 19 and a 13 towards your AC. What is your AC?
13.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. I'm just struggling right now.
All right, 2 hits. 1 and a 2, and your AC is 13, so that means you need to make me a dex. Nope, yes, a dexterity saving throw, please. You've got to beat a 13.
15.
Nice. So you just take the damage, which is 20 slashing damage in total.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just got like these tiny little blades that have been pulled out from nowhere within its body, and they're just spinning around, and now they're just cutting through everything. They're unbelievably sharp. They're just slicing through your robes and your armor, and dealing untold amounts of damage. The other one's going to do the same thing with Hilda again. Wow, that's a crit. Let's see. That murders her. Well, no. Wow, that's impressive. I think that literally reduces her to 1 HP. But she does have to make a dex save again. And on an 8, she fails. What happens? Oh, she loses a possession. Well, she's going to really be happy about that when she comes back next week, as this thing cuts straight through and destroys her light crossbow. You see it cut through all of her stuff. She's dancing out of the way, and then it slices through not just it slices through the crossbow. You see part of the crossbow break off of the bottom, and then the blade stick into her side. She lets out a cry as she's dancing away from it, and then she does the classic like anime wipe blood from her mouth type thing as she's still standing on 1 HP over there. And then Beetle attempting to attack Cairo is going to try and bite you too. On an 8, I'm guessing it misses.
It misses.
Alright, brings us to Hilda, who's going to try and hit again. A 20 is a hit, and a 14 is a miss. So she gets 1 hit, dealing 11. In fact, she destroys this one. You see her kind of like dance away from this thing that has messed her up, broken the crossbow. She brings one of those swords down, and it explodes. The spider, it just explodes into flame from the flame swords and the bits of Arcanii and junk and construct that make up the spider there. And she destroys one of them and then promptly sits down from wounds, horrible wounds. And then the other beetle here is going to, well, it just gets to continue to deal damage to Lyra on the ground. Now, do you get 1 or 2 fails when you take damage on the ground? I think you just immediately take a fail. But I can't remember if it's 1 or 2. Chat will tell me in 2 seconds because they love doing that. This thing is just, it's just relentless. You see it kind of, its little mandibles biting at Lyra, and it starts to kind of burrow its way in. You know, like those scarabs from The Mummy? Do you remember that movie? And it starts to just tear out
his face.
Tear out flesh.
Like, is that even a question?
I love that movie. It's like her favorite movie.
Yeah, you know when they go under the skin? It's trying to do that. And you take 1 automatic fail. And that brings us to Errolpay, who is certainly... What are you trying to do first? Are you putting it on or destroying it?
Well, I'm gonna, if I put it on, do I think I can stop these things?
That's what I'm asking you. Do you think you can put it on and stop these things?
I'm gonna roll to see if I can, if I know this.
You can't roll. You've got to make a choice now. Do you want to destroy it or do you want to...
I put it on!
Put it on, okay.
I put the gauntlet on and I snap my fingers.
Yes, give me an investigation check for that. Roll.
Okay.
Crit.
Fucking, what do you want to do? You have control of them.
I want them all to spontaneously combust.
Okay, and that's what happens. They all just explode. Even the one that's busted up blows up too. The things, she just knows innately how to control. You just see this thing. It's quite a simple thing. If an idiot like Geo can use it, you can use it, right? You click a button, basically, and all 4 of these things self-destruct and explode. They're not like exploding in some horrible way that's going to deal any further damage to the others or anything like that, but they do immediately become destroyed. And the glove itself kind of powers down. You get the sensation that these are the last of the Arcanii things within its range that it can control. But it might still come in handy later on or something, so you can keep it.
I start wiping the grease away. Like, oh, this is
right,
disgusting.
Yeah. You can add Arcanii glove to your thing, and Lyra is still dying.
Yeah, I rush over to Lyra.
Oh, she's gonna do me 1 death saving throw.
Okay.
Okay, you can rush over to Lyra now.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank goodness. I was freaking out.
And what do you do?
Cure wounds.
Cure wounds.
Oh, the reason I rushed over is so I could pull her a little ways away from the heat of the Tuesday whatsits. Because I can do cure wounds from a distance. I want to get her a little ways away from the splodies in case they do any more sploding.
No, they're all busted up. They're sitting on the ground. They're all kind of like fizzing and whirring. The smoke pouring up from whatever small thing in them that they each have a thing like a small explosive in them that allows them to detonate and self-destruct. However, as soon as we see you do that, we see you heal Lyra. Lyra, you kind of once again wake up. There's a thing on you that's burning, and it hurts, and you've got a terrible wound in probably in the top of your chest near where your shoulder is. Infidelia, you've got some wounds on you. Hilda's looking kind of messed up too. Errol Pay looks like she's having a great time with new toys, and Cairo also looks suspiciously okay after such a horrible attack. And then you hear this thing. It's totally drawing energy in from somewhere nearby. You can sense now that this machine around you is certainly active. And then you hear a voice from within it, speaking out as if it's speaking through some sort of enhanced thaumaturgy, some sort of system that's allowing him to speak out. You hear a voice that you don't recognize say,
"For Hannah, for all those taken from us by the gods, today we free ourselves from their grip, from their total rule. The gods fear our power. They pushed us from it once before. Look around you. They used our fear to keep us in the mud, in the dirt. But we have ascended. We have matched them. Last week we surpassed them, and today we destroy them. Today we become them."
The machine continues to build energy and power. You can sense that rumbling from underneath you as it starts to draw in energy. There's a crackling. Some of the pipes and the wiring and things begin to spark. There is like an electricity coming from them. The large towers that are sticking up out of the ground, there are 4 of them that you can see that seem to have been embedded in the ground in some way. They turn a red and then a white, as if they're that hot. They're superheating. There is a sense from all around you as your hairs on your arms begin to lift of just a deep energy of some sort, probably arcane, Errol Pay. You're pretty sure it's definitely drawing magic from a source underneath where you are and pulling it up into this sphere near where you are. What do you guys want to do?
We didn't stop it.
Errol, burn that thing up.
How damaged does the little section I burned up look?
Super damaged, but it looks like you've only got a tiny bit of it. This thing, there's loads of this machine. You could repeatedly do it, but it's up to you.
There's a hole in it, right?
You busted a tiny little bit of it up. If you were looking at this as like a percentage thing, you've destroyed like 2%.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what if... Can I do locate object to find a sort of way to power this down or stop it, or maybe like a way to stop it?
Yeah, you're doing the spell?
Yeah.
I think locate object, you need to know like...
Oh, I need to know what it is.
Thing you're looking for specifically. Let me check, because sometimes they have a description that lets you do it. I can't remember. Locate object. Describe or name an object that is familiar to you. That's the issue.
Oh, okay.
Sense the direction of the object.
Can I do identify on this thing?
The spell identify object?
Yes.
Or identify is oh, that's a different spell. Identify. You choose an object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn the properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement and how many charges it has, blah blah blah. You can do that, but do you walk all the way over to this thing and touch it?
Does it look like it's... I touch it with the gauntlet.
If you going all like, are you? Because you're still pretty far away from like we're treating this as if it's still like 100 feet away.
Yeah, I think that I would run over.
Okay.
I'm the closest to it anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. As you run over to it, you are able to see up when you look up inside it, you see a secondary sphere on the inside, also kind of suspended and hanging. The metal casing around it is now crackling with energy on the inside. There is a second suspended sphere, same thing, kind of ramshackle, pulled together. Lots of wires, suspended wires, crisscrossing like a spider web from the outside to the center. Inside the core of this thing, you can see a man in there, inside the center of the secondary sphere. He is looking at you as soon as you walk in, and you're moving forward with this gauntleted hand out, and you can see this man has all these kind of arcane lines up his body. The metal from bits of this machine are attached to him, in him, coming out of him. You can't see his legs, they're completely ensconced in this metal. You continue to run forward and he watches you. There's a light kind of glow, blue, that begins to burn a little bit. You can see his body catching fire in places, and you can see that he's been burned before. He's actually covered in kind of bloodied and scorched bandages. Almost all of his body is covered in it. You can see his eyes, you can see parts of his skin. His eyes actually look white, and pretty much everywhere on him you can see scorch marks. There's no hair on his body whatsoever, and he's wearing kind of robes, but they're not really fitted to his body. They're just kind of placed upon him. And you can see that the thing is kind of holding his body in his arms aloft. He's hung there with almost the appearance of flight as you get underneath this thing and put your hand out as if to touch and identify the machine. You can see now that the top of his head has great big tubes attached to what look like a helm of some kind that has also been almost kind of welded to the top of his head, as if it was burned skin that's holding it in place more so than anything else. The salvaged parts of the machine are kind of whirring and buzzing, and you get closer and closer and you can feel that energy reaching up. And as you touch the edge of the machine here, the inside of this machine ignites. There is white light and fire from inside the sphere and from underneath the sphere. It looks like Errol ran in, touched this thing, and then there's an almost like a rocket ignition for the rest of you that are watching her as she runs in there, and then she's covered in fire, and then a bright white light shines out from pretty much all around this thing, and that's where we're going to end today's session.
Holy shit.
Well, this just got real. Oh boy, a god-killing machine!
Oh yes.
Right here,
Of course.
in front of us, and it's only 2% destroyed.
What campaign do you think this is?
I'm not freaking out.
Welcome to What Set Off Dying Order. And yes, we will return to the B Team next week. What? You cried? Yes, we cried back. That's correct. You know what I want to see? I want to see that fan art again. There was some cool fan art. There it is. You like this song? Peachy made this song for me.
It's so good.
Oh, it's damn good.
All right, so let's do a quick round of shout outs, and we'll continue with whatever the hell just happened next week. Thanks for watching, watchers. Thanks for playing, players. Let's start with the last one to do something. Errol Pay. Sometimes I almost say spoilers. You're going to heaven.
I'm going to heaven.
One of you had to go up and see the others, hang out.
Yeah. I'm Pocket. You can find me on Twitter or Twitch at Pocket with 2 Ks instead of a CK. And I might be back next week. What happened? I don't know. Huh?
Yeah.
And this is Banana.
Nice.
This is actual.
What about you, KPP?
Hi, I'm Katie Peters Plays, and I played Shrek today. No, I played Infidelia Gazgul, and I want to make dead things come alive, but I don't think I can do that yet. Maybe someday I can.
It would have been awesome if you did it.
Oh, that would have been so cool. I didn't think it would happen, but maybe sometime. So, yeah, I play video games on my stream, and I'm here sometimes for Gone on Wednesdays. So come hang out if you'd like.
Yeah. Special guest Tuesday Gray.
Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Tuesday Gray, and you can find me on Twitch and Twitter under that name, and here next week.
Yes, she will return. Unlike Errol Pay. Yeah, it's just a meme. Maybe it'll be back. Who knows?
I got to snap my fingers and kill things, so I was pretty happy.
Yeah,
oh, by the
she
way,
was a
that's like
badass
exactly
today.
how you were supposed to deal with that fight, by the way.
Nice.
Like, just so you know, because sometimes I'm like, oh, they're going to work it out or they're just going to die, because these things are pretty strong. They do a lot of damage for these little, like...
Oh, I immediately was going to kill him and then go for the glove.
Right, I assumed that maybe you would go for that, because I knew that if I put him there, you'd want to kill him. But then obviously you have the threat of these things that are attacking you, so sometimes you're like, oh, we got to kill these first and stuff. But, like, he can change targets if he's alive. If you kill him, then they're just targeting whoever he targets first. And I had it was going to target those of you that aren't the wizard who can control and Thanos snap the things to death. So pretty much that's exactly like, if I was to write down the best possible way to deal with that combat, that would pretty much have been it. Have someone with a ranged weapon take him out so that Errol Pay can grab it and turn him off. You know, that's essentially what was supposed to happen there.
And it did.
Yeah, I very rarely look at team comp and go, what's the best way to present an interesting fight for this team composition? But I thought since the Inquisition is somewhat about team comp, and that's the point in a way, that it would be more fun to do that, because there's a lot less.
2 crits definitely help. You critting and getting back up, PB, and then obviously me critting the
It's
investigation.
fucking wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have gotten that headshot.
There you go. Speaking of PB, what's going on?
Oh, good Lord, that was intense. Probably, I'd say, other than Rin in Darkfire, there's like one epic thing that happened that I'm not going to spoil. I've never, ever had anything that crazy happen before. Where I got killed in one hit, rolled a nat 20, got back up, and then killed the boss in one hit. Like, what the fuck?
And then went back down.
That was so cool. More rogues for me, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, hi, I'm Pumpkinberry. I am here on oh boy, next week's gonna be wild. I'm here next week on Wednesday jamming Gone, our surreal thriller, and then I'm also jamming a Nocturne one-shot the very next day on Thursday. I'm Insane. And then I'm back again on Friday for Facade, where I'm a player. So I'm very, very excited for next week. On my channel, I'm just playing through Crisis Core.
Is
and
that
then
tomorrow?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. I'm excited.
Sorry, I am a Final Fantasy VII fanboy.
Yeah. And then I will be hitting the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh my god. All right. What time tomorrow?
1 p.m. Eastern.
Suspiciously when I'm ending my stream so that I can tune in. All right. Well, yeah, we'll be back next week. What more is there to conclude? They cried in the chat. Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune in next time. And then the week after, we will return to the main crew and see what those guys are up to, wherever they are. No one knows. Not even me, really. I'm not sure what you did. I think you created your own plane of existence, which is fun. Don't know what we mean? Go back and watch the main campaign. A-team. I don't know what to call you because you're not the A-team.
Main team.
Main team. From Maine.
Sure.
The team from Maine. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you mildly enjoyed yourselves, and we shall return on Tuesday for Witchcraft and Wizardry. Peace out, and thank you so much for hanging out. Bye. Don't forget the Nocturne one shot on Thursday. Write it down.
Yes, 4:30 Eastern
on, in this channel.
4:30 on 4:30.
Ooh, bye.